Well, it feels like we're coming out of winter hibernation and getting ready for a fantastic Kiwi summer. Joining us on the program, somebody who I'm sure has ticked off everything to do on her winter to-do list. Looking forward to the seasons ahead. Tanya Unkovic, kia ora, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you both?
Yeah, doing well. Actually, this is a great thing to be talking about because I remember at the beginning of winter, I was like, oh, blah, it's winter. And you're like, no. Turn that around and actually set yourself some goals. Now, I sort of did. I don't know really how they went, Tanya, except, look, one thing I did do was continue with my exercise routine. So I was pretty happy with that.
She's at the gym today, I can verify that.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a great thing. So you've actually started something and you're still doing it.
Still doing it.
A lot of people give up. So this is where the art of celebrating yourself is fantastic when you're actually in the middle of a goal. Keep looking at the milestones and keep patting yourself on the back, because we're very quick to smash ourselves across the head and criticize when we don't do something, but we don't celebrate ourselves when we achieve something. So always celebrate.
Just not necessarily resting and celebrating, is celebrating and keeping going, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, no, keep looking at how far you've come.
That is so cool. So celebrating the goals once we've achieved them. I've got a question for you. Did you set some goals, Tanya?
Well, one of them was to write a book. And
that's huge.
So I'm actually doing that. And look, it's a great process. But look, this week was actually an example of how to keep going when you've had a bit of a stumbling block. And when we set a goal, as soon as we hit a hazard, it's very easy to give up. And this week I lost 4,500 words that I wrote. And
oh, no.
Gosh.
I had to reframe it and get myself back on track. And the way I did it was I looked at the outcome. What is the outcome that you want, Tanya? I want this published before Christmas. Are you going to get it published before Christmas? Can you still do it? Of course I can. So I was able to reframe the hazard, and this is what I want to encourage the readers. If you come across a hazard and you get a little bit of a setback, you must regroup. You must get up and carry on and focus on the outcome that you want.
Because it's great to celebrate successes, but sometimes there are obstacles, sometimes there are things outside of our control. But even the stumbles can be learning opportunities, right?
Well, absolutely. And that's the way you've got to start looking at it. I always say there will always be a stumbling block, so anticipate it, expect it, and already have one way of overcoming it. That's why I say anticipate the hazard so that you've got a solution set up straight away. Otherwise, you're just going to get thrown back, and it's very easy to give up and, the head stuff starts again. So get up and carry on and focus on the goal.
Well, we're in spring now, and maybe people are thinking, well, I didn't really set any goals over winter, didn't quite get there. What do you say for now as we head towards Christmas in a time of year where things are just getting brighter, lighter, and hopefully warmer?
Yes, well, I always say a 90-day time period is a fantastic time period to set a goal and have a good transformation. You can easily do that within 12 weeks.
Are you talking togs ready for Christmas? Because that hasn't happened for me for decades.
Absolutely. Togs ready for Christmas. So why not? I want to be in togs for Christmas. Give yourself 90 days. And, the great thing is you can say, okay, what's my 30-day milestone? What is my 60-day milestone and my ultimate goal at 90 days? So make sure it's achievable. Make sure that it is not something that's going to stress you out, and make sure that it's something you're going to enjoy as well.
Can I just admit to misreading something here, Tanya, because I misread where it says 90-day goal. I thought that was like 90 goals as in a bucket list of things to do before I'm 90. Because I'm running out of time.
Well, you're still young. You're still a spring chicken. You've got plenty of time, but yes.
So, I think, what we've talked about often in the past and what I found super useful is this idea of what's our why? Because if we don't have a good why, we're not going to stick to our goal, right?
Absolutely. And the stronger the why, the more compelling the reason is, the more you're going to be excited on the journey. And it's not only pain that is driving you, but it's going to be pleasure. You're going to imagine what it's going to feel like at the end of that 90 days when you look at yourself and your dogs and go, hey, I look pretty cool here, So focus on that why. Make it very strong.
You're talking before about how we can also learn from our failures. And look, determination and resilience is important. You got to keep doing what you're doing. But if one strategy isn't working at all, it's not failure to say, hey, this isn't working, let's try something else.
Oh, absolutely. It's not failure. And it's part of the journey. So many amazing things were not invented first time round.
Yeah.
It took a lot of time. So, we've all done something and it's not worked, and then you've tried again and you've tried again, and then you've got the ultimate outcome. So I always say just expect that you're going to have a few incidences where you're going to be so tempted to give up, but don't.
Is it good to look to other people and see how they've achieved the goal, whether it's, looking at someone on the net or, I don't know, looking at someone in media?
It's really good to see that it can be done, firstly. If they can do it, so can I. We always have this belief, but it can happen for them, but not me. I'm different. My problem's different. My problem's
Although we don't
bigger.
want to fall into the comparison trap of saying, hey, look, here's some influencer on social media and say, hey, why can't I be like that, and beating ourselves up and failing at the comparison game.
Yeah, it can be a trap to get into, right? So it's about choosing wisely as well, and being realistic in your own goal as well. So there are some really good, positive role models out there. So just keep an eye out. If something makes you feel uncomfortable, if it brings up a tension when you're looking at it and comparing yourself, then maybe that's not the person to follow.
If trying new ways of doing things, never taking your eye off the goal, these are some excellent things as we head to Christmas. Now, about 90 days is what you're saying there, Tanya?
Well, 90 days will get us to about mid-Christmas, right?
Yep.
So you could always make that, knowing that that's when all the Christmas parties are starting. So maybe for that 2 weeks leading up to Christmas that you've got there, it can be a little bit of a buffer time.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the journey as well.
Well, that
Make
sounds
it
good.
an enjoyable 90 days.
And hey, I've got a backup plan. Honestly, if I'm not togs ready by Christmas, I can always buy some bigger togs, Tanya.
Well, one great thing is to buy the new togs now and have them visible somewhere so that you're looking at them all the time going, hey, I'm going to fit into you.
There's a strategy, Andrew. Hey, Tanya, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Of course, people can check out all of the things that you are up to and that we've been talking about, in fact, over the last little while, years, in fact, on your YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Plenty there.